Welcome back, pro wrestling fans. Welcome back, IWC. It's me. It's me. It's the GOC. Coming to you live to tape 25 feet below the surface of the earth, here for another edition, you guessed it, of Chaos Corner, here on Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel. Much love and respect to everyone out there. I can't thank you enough for being here and checking in on a Sunday. Stay mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually fit. Because if he's for us, no one else can be against us. Especially in these insane times we're living in 2024, heading into 2025. Border invasions, the economy, wars, illegal immigration, food prices, house prices, politics, crime. Stay with like-minded people, situational awareness, and use your own discernment. So I just want to start off by saying all that. And again, I can't thank you guys and gals enough for being here. Shout out to my moderators, my brother from another mother, Austin Nance, and of course, the OTS Tribal Queen. One man, unique, unedited, unscripted, raw dog for you, the fans. This isn't a podcast. This is a show. Coming up on episode 500 of Chaos Corner, episodic YouTube TV. We uploaded last month, in the month of December, almost 300 videos in 1 month. We are on just about 4,000 total videos in a little less than 4 years here on the channel. We're well over 500,000, coming up on 750,000, shooting for that 1 million total views, which means a lot to me. We're coming up on almost 2,000 subscribers. Last month, the month of September, seeing that we are here on October 6th of 2024, we had almost 25,000 total viewers. Oh, wait. You know what Bully Ray said to me. You know the story. Give the Guardian of Chaos 6 spots and he'll fuck up 5 of them. I'm proud of that. I consider that to be a compliment coming from a 2-time Hall of Famer. Perhaps one of the best tag teams of all time. Debatable, right? Host of Busted Open Radio. Host of Busted Open After Dark. Bully Ray tells it like it is, just like the GOC. So you guys get it. Last week, finishing off September into the first week of October, we had almost 25,000 total viewers that tuned into this channel. Shout out and props to you. I can't thank you enough. This originally, and that's why this is an impromptu on a Sunday, a lot of Major League Baseball playoffs coming up, and especially my New York Metropolitans up 1-0 against Philadelphia. You know, I'm a 50-year Mets fan, but let's not get distracted. And we're coming off an unbelievable pay-per-view, which they call a PLE now, of Bad Blood last night, the WWE down in Hotlanta. And yes, if you smell what The Rock is cooking, showed up at the end of the main event. Cody Rhodes. And then the OTC, the original Tribal King, something like that, Tribal Chief. That's what I'm talking about. I'm as confused as a baby at Hooters, but I'm certainly busier than a blow-up doll at a frat party, and you guys know that. No one works harder for you than I do. Anyway, back to Bad Blood last night. It really was something with the OTC, original, only Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, teaming up with the undisputed champion right now, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, against Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu of the Bloodline. And of course, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa were there at right around ringside and made their presence felt. So there was a lot to be said for that bout. Bad Blood, the Bloodline. Jimmy Uso is finally back. The Usos So Jimmy came back to help out Cody and Roman Reigns. So you could see where this is headed. And then for The Rock to show up. This bloodline story's been going on for what, about 3 years? People thought about, I don't know, a year ago, maybe it got a little stale, a little old. When we come into a conclusion, well, they just keep introducing Anawais and Tongas and Fatus and Samoan Dynasty members. You put in Sami Zayn to begin with as the honorary Uso, and now you got Cody Rhodes involved. Rollins has been involved. KO assaulted Cody Rhodes after the pay-per-view on his tour bus, so we're right out in front of the tour bus. There's a lot going on. Not to mention the feud between the two monsters, behemoths. Big Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. This has been for the ages. That's how you book big men. Give them a lot of credit and what they've been doing week after week between Strowman and Big Bronson Reed finally being booked and used the right way. So there's a lot currently going on in WWE. Again, this was an impromptu video. I was coming on here to do episode 11 of the State of the Channel. The analytics here for the YouTube channel. I usually was doing it every quarter. I haven't done it in 6 months, but the numbers here from my channel, I don't compare it for anybody else's channel. We very rarely go live, although you might as well say it's live. That's why I say live to tape, because we're always in the chat room in the premiere, and as soon as I tape something, it's up that day. So that's why the moniker live to tape. You guys get it, right? Hello? McFly? Is anybody home? Bueller? Bueller? Anyone? So you guys understand what's going on here with the analytics. So I'll give a couple of those numbers, break it down. We'll talk current topics, current events. I personally haven't made a Chaos Corner show probably in a couple of months. You guys see on the channel, I've been pumping out the ladies of the 80s, the ladies of the 90s, paying homage over these last couple of weeks to the women of pro wrestling. Long before the Evolution, Revolution, Knockouts, TNA, thongs, garter belts, G-strings. When women were pro wrestlers, when they were grapplers. And remember, in order to get respect, you have to start with respecting yourself. Once you do that, you open other people's minds to respecting you. I always talk about paying and giving back, which this is what I still do currently, not only in this channel, but my home company at Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. The Paradise 4, Paul Roma, Mario Mancini, Paul Perez, and big Steve Tracy. Go out and listen to the Power and Glory podcast with Roma. It's unbelievable. It's right here on YouTube. You'll find out what our head trainer's all about. And then, of course, there's Hey Roma, also the podcast with Paul Roma, and owner of Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, in the WWF from 84 to 92, the youngest grappler at the time in 84, and that's one Mario Mancini. You want to talk about storytelling, emotional investment. You listen, ring psychology. You listen to men like that and that are credible and that have been in this business. And Paul Perez, whose parents were a luchador, where he trained down in his basement. Second generation grappler in the WWF as well in the late 80s and early 90s. All out of the legendary Quest facility in Orange, who was run by tough Tony Altamori, the Stanford Stomper, part of the Sicilians tag team with Captain Lou Albano. I'm giving you a little bit of everything here. This is a hodgepodge. So that's what I'm talking about when it comes to pro wrestling and training and grappling. A lot of things going on at Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. Go to ParadiseAlleyProWrestling.com, Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, on all social media platforms, and you'll see the stars, young lions that are coming out of there. Everyone from Richard Holiday to Brad Baylor, whether you call him beautiful Brad Baylor or gorgeous Greg Baylor. It's one and the same. Dustin Flash Waller, Kylon King, Jermaine Marbury, the Duke boys, Corey Duke, and his unbelievable twin brother. There's so much talent coming out of Paradise Alley, and that's just thrown right off the top of my head. There's many more. Roma trained, Mancini brained. So let me get off the personal push and plug and salutations and greetings for my home company. Still, the old man brand, the over 50 demo god, still active in my 40-year journey in this industry. And of course, my 30 plus years as a pro wrestling manager who took the fucking bumps. That's right, I took them. More than most of you people out there in this IWC that sit there and give your thoughts and views and opinions. Much respect. Not saying you don't know what you're talking about, because you do for the most part, especially the people I moderate and work for. They know what they're talking about. They're paying attention. They're insiders. But until you have performed or stepped in the fucking ring and took a bump, you really don't have a lot to say about it. You can just give an educated guess or opinion. No offense, man. Kayfabe. I am the guardian of chaos, Big Daddy. And I'll say that to say this, because I tell it like it is. And you know I don't give a fuck, right? I'm just telling it like it is, man. Giving you shoot here in reality. That's what's here. There's three types of people in this world. Those who don't know what happened, those who wonder what happened, and people like the GOC. And the people I surround myself with that make things happen. And I'm always learning, whether I'm talking to a 19-year-old rookie, a 32-year-old veteran, or a 55-year-old legend and Hall of Famer. You can always learn. So I'm bouncing around here. You know I'll tie it up like a little bow at the end of the show. So again, this was supposed to be the state of the channel. We were talking about the WWE and bad blood coming off of last night. It really was a solid pay-per-view. You see what Triple H and the offices and his people are doing. They usually keep it around 5, maybe 6 matches for a pay-per-view, as opposed to other groups that are throwing 10, 12, 13 matches, depending on their pre-shows, whether it be Ring of Honor and AEW, New Japan, TNA Impact, the NWA, MLW, AAA, CMLL. I can go through all the top companies, and even the independents, which are still the backbone of this fucking industry, the independent scene. And I'll get onto that in a minute, if I remember it. So all the different companies, you see what the WWE is doing. The women's division, pretty solid. All the women's divisions and women's grapplers are pretty solid here in 2024. They're all trained athletes. They're all well qualified, well versed. Again, still a little risque. I mean, it's not the Attitude Era of the 90s and all that, and the Monday Night Wars and the way they used to have the women wrestlers be treated. And let's keep men out of women's sports. Can we do that? That's my personal opinion. This is my fucking channel. And if you're offended, you can get lost. No offense, man. Keep men out of women's sports. Hashtag no men in women's sports. There's 2 sexes. And whichever way you go, that's on you. I could care less. I'm not here to judge anybody. There's men and women, boys and girls, period. That's it. That's the way the Lord made it. You can't change it. You can have surgery. You can change your mind. You can go to therapy. You can have hormones. You can do whatever you want. Again, that doesn't affect me. But it still comes down to that. You want to come up with an all male, all female. You want to come up with intergender. But no men in women's sports and no women in men's sports when it comes to that, as far as all that goes. Again, I'm just telling it my personal beliefs. Start your own division. What's wrong with that? Male, female, and whatever you identify as or whatever you transferred over to. I'm just giving you, I didn't even want to talk about this, but I did see the documentary recently because I want to learn all different things. I want to know different views and perspectives and be open for discussion. I watched a documentary called Out in the Ring, which was about just exactly what we were talking about. Gays, lesbians, LGBTQ, whatever you want to call it, the alphabet mafia. I'm not making fun of anyone. I'm not judging anyone. I'm telling it like it is, what's right and wrong for me and what I've learned through history. It was very interesting. I learned a lot. The most I knew, because I've even had it in my own family. So nobody's exempt. Remember that. So it's nice to continue to learn and educate yourself, no matter who you are, where you're from, race, color, creed, religion, background, sexual identity, morality. I don't give a fuck. That's on you, man. I judge people by the content of their character and how they treat me. So I made this into a PSA, but this is the reality of the world we live in. It's, I was go from pay-per-views and pro wrestling to this, but that's what we do here. You never know what I'm going to say, what I'm going to present, what I'm going to do, but you know that it's going to be honest from the heart and it's going to be the truth. It's just that simple. So we're 15 minutes in here. Again, I appreciate it. I don't know how long we're going to go. I really don't. I got something special here that I've gotten a lot of emails and inboxes on that people want me to run down again, especially for you mouth breathers and neck beards and geeks and virgins and goons and what I say. Smarks. I'm a mark too. Yeah, I said it. But I've got a lot of feedback, and I did it probably last year, but you guys want to hear the glossary index of words and definitions and stuff. So I'll go back to that, and I'll present that here before we get off the air. What? Too much? Too early? Too late? Too soon? Fuck it. Well, I apologize for the cuts. I do. Austin, OTS Tribal Queen, Jen, if you will, hold them down there in the chat. Again, Bad Blood was good. And again, I see how I come back around. That's why I say the Lazy Susan story. It comes back around. How about Gunther, who used to be called Walter? Gunther. Gunther is unbelievable as the third World Heavyweight Championship. That's just the way I see it. 2 belts, 3 belts. Can we have 1 world champion? Gunther and Sami Zayn. Sami's hot. He's been hot for a year or two. The Ultimate Oos, honorary Oos is what brought him out. Then they go to Canada. I get it. He's over. He's more than qualified. With his Holuva kick, which is just, it's a hell of a kick. Really. Come on. No way in my mind should someone like Zayn defeat Gunther for that title. Just my opinion. But that's been a good storyline. And let's not forget about perhaps, if not the best storyline in pro wrestling, maybe second best. And hopefully now it's over. CM Punk, that's right, and I still stand with you, Punk, and I have from day one. I wasn't a huge fan when you were in the WWE back in the middle 2000s, 07, 08, whatever the fuck it was. But you're a man of your word. You tell it like it is. You don't take any guff, and that's what I can respect. So I stand with Punk. A Punk against McIntyre at Hell in a Cell last night. A bloody mess. A crimson mask. An excellent show. You guys know the history here. I still have heat with that AI bitch. You know it, right? I don't like any of this AI stuff and technology and what's happened. Be prepared for what's coming. I'm just saying. Bitch. Alexa, play Tropical Thunderstorm sounds for my fans. We're back. So we were talking about Hell in a Cell briefly here because this is a hodgepodge show, a little bit of everything. Again, I'm saying it for the third time. This was supposed to be a state of the channel show and telling you how good that we've been doing over these last few months since the last time we did a show back. I believe the last analytics show, episode 10, was March 15th of 2024. Here we are, it would have been episode 11, October 6th of 2024, but my analytics page and my information has wiped off what gender, how many male, female following, what's the age group, the demographics, the countries. It wiped it all off my analytics page over the last 48 hours. So I'm not sure what's going on with FluffTube. You know what I'm saying? All I know is drop an elbow on that like button, leave a comment, get us in the algorithm, and again, email me. Here's the 2 email addresses, and that's why we're going to go over some of these definitions in a few minutes that you guys are going to really enjoy. 2 emails. First off, you can go to Twitter, aka X, and hit me up at Big Daddy GOC. And the GOC stands for the Guardian of Chaos. And you can inbox me. I'm on there almost every day. That's where I do a lot of my live reporting from on all the major companies and the happenings of the business. You can go to the community page here and get in touch with me on Guardian of Chaos on YouTube. I'm on there almost daily or every couple of days. But here's the email addresses. And thanks for the feedback. Again, I said I was going to do Fan Mail Friday. I haven't done it yet, so I apologize. You can get in touch with me at chaosbigdaddy2 at yahoo.com. Let me spell it out for you for those with the brain of a dehydrated baby. No offense, man. I'm just saying. CHAOS Big Daddy, Chaos Big Daddy, the number 2 at yahoo.com. And yes, of course, I have a backup email. I read them both daily. And a second email address to get in touch with me, your thoughts, your views, your questions, what you want to see me cover. If you don't leave a comment, and because you don't want anyone to see and know that you're watching my channel, but you know that I know, and I know that you know that I know you're watching. So don't be embarrassed. If you want to say a comment, leave a comment during the live chat or during a replay or after the video's been uploaded. I get it. It's okay, man. People know that you're here, at least I do. So the second email is chaosbigdaddy, the number 11 at gmail.com. Let me say it again. Chaosbigdaddy, one word, number 11, perhaps my favorite number, at Gmail. So get in touch with me, and I'll get back to you. Again, Hell in a Cell. Where do we go now with Hell in a Cell? It was a vicious, violent, brutal match. Does it continue on? I don't believe so. You got to start moving in different directions, especially with Punk and all you AEW haters. And I'm a big fan of AEW. I report on it every week. I watch it every week. The pay-per-views are usually bangers. Storytelling or not, he's a good matchmaker. And I want a company like that after 5 years to survive, especially after they just signed a, $200 million deal with Max and Warner Brothers and so on, and Warner Discovery, so on and so forth. So you got to be happy. I mean, it's just a much-needed viable alternative, just like TNA and New Japan and the Mexican leagues and so on and so forth. MLW, NWA, the independents. It's just an alternative. Although the Fed, because I still call it the WWF, but WWE is really knocking out of the box. You know, they signed a big deal with Netflix. NXT went over to the CW11. SmackDown and USA now, or SmackDown and Raw are both now on USA and moved down to 2 hours, at least temporarily. And AEW is getting rid of Rampage, I believe. It's going to be Dynamite, Collision, and then something called Shockwave. And so we're going to see what happens going into 2025. It ought to be interesting, at least for the fans. And no better time to be a fan or talent if you're a big fan of today's industry and the way it is. There's a lot to be desired. I won't get into that. That's another story for another time. So we're going to see what happens. A lot of good storylines coming out with Cody, Roman, Rock, the Bloodline, Punk, McIntyre, you know, Dirty Dom, Rhea, Liv, you know, Damian Priest. What's going to happen there? There's always, you know, of course. I don't want to bark too loud, although nobody will hear me. Braun Steiner. Wow. So WWE right now is in fuego. What's going on in AEW? Hopefully MJF is healthy and going to be back in a couple of weeks. I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. I haven't heard he's injured. So we'll see what happens there. Bryan Danielson on his final countdown as the heavyweight champion. All the big men are persona non grata in AEW. Who knows where the heck they are. Tag team division is a mess. I don't know why they're not pushing the Von Erichs, why they're not pushing the Guns. It really is incredible of what's happening over there and different things with AEW. Not to bash it, but I give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's what I do here on this channel, and you guys know that. So there's a lot going on. One is the return of Kenny Omega. What are they going to do with Takeshita and Okada? What's happening with Mox, Pac, Cesaro, Claudio, the Schaefer girl? Schaefer is the One beer to have when you're having more than one. Do 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 do. Schaefer is the one beer to have when you wanna have some fun. Do 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 do. Noontime, lunchtime. No, something like that. Hey, listen, I could start singing Bad Street USA in tribute to the Freebirds like I do when I'm wearing a Freebird tee. Today it's about the Midnight Express and Jim Cornette. Because if you've listened to his six-parter on the Vince McMahon docu-series on Netflix, a must-listen. That's another thing I'll briefly touch on. Everybody's brother, mother, uncle, sister's ass is doing reviews and previews and watch-alongs on the Vince McMahon six-part docu-series, Mr. McMahon, on Netflix. And again, I'll admit that I knew 95 to 98% of it, not only from being around the business, in the business, and my friends associated that were in the WWF at that time, my brothers. So I've learned a lot, especially if you listen to Roma and Mancini, you'll learn a lot because they tell it like it is, whether you want to believe it or not. So I knew most of it, but they never really opened up and peeled back Vince himself. It was entertaining. It was worth the watch. Millions of people are watching it. And I've listened to a lot of the different reviews from different people. So it's been, including the locals. The IWC is full of locals. And then I listen, of course, to the people that are in the fucking business. It was nice seeing all the old videos and flashbacks and photos in the era of when they started up on this. Basically, it seems like they started in the middle 80s. I was already in my early 20s and mid 20s in the 80s. And then, we go to the Ruthless Aggression area, the birth of ECW, WCW, Monday Night Wars, the Attitude Era. I was already in my middle 30s and in the business myself. So I have a little different take and look and opinion on what I agree with and what I don't agree with. But so there's been a lot of great listens out there. And you guys know the podcasts that I listen to all the time where I go to, from regular people like you and I to people in the business to legends. Of course, I moderate and listen to Off the Script with JD from New York. His show also Tuesday Night Titans with the Solomonster. His show also on Wednesday with the Chi-Town Smart Jesse. Of course, the OGs of the IWC, I moderate and listen to Don, Tony, and Kevin Castle. As a matter of fact, tonight I'll be in on the sit down. You guys know that I hang out with even regular people like all of us because we're all the same, no different. Some have more knowledge and more strengths than others. Some are just the boys or the gals. I'm also over on the Wrestling Council with Comic Book Bob, Hollywood, and Johnny. Two guys that are consistent every Tuesday night, the Wrestling Council, that talk about current day business, current day product. What better way to get a fan's perspective than someone like Bob and Hollywood? There's also the hard-working independent guys in the IWC, like the Professor Rick Del Santo, Uncle Otis, a.k.a. the Potato, over on the Pro Wrestling Wire. The Pro Wrestling Wire is perhaps the number one network channel in the IWC reporting on independent pro wrestling. It doesn't get more accurate from around the country, around the globe, between the Potato Uncle Otis and the Professor Rick Del Santo. Pro Wrestling Wire. You're not going to want to miss that. I already mentioned the podcast with Roma. Hey Roma and Power and Glory. Easy to find. Cheap Heat Productions, my buddy Morris, across the pond. Unbelievable work what he's doing. Millions of total views. A guy that's down to earth and even running for office over there in Ireland. So Cheap Heat Productions, where they have the Mario Mancini show as well. Another connection to people that are on the ground, that are like you, that are watching here. So you get an amazing perspective on what they're talking about. So just a little greetings and salutations and shout outs to the people that I moderate for and listen to and I enjoy listening to. And of course, there's my go-tos that I listen to on the regular just because I respect them. I've gotten to work with a few of them over the years back throughout my journey. And I agree with most of their stuff, so I can listen to it even easier. If you're not listening to Jim Cornette, I don't know what the fuck you're doing in the IWC. The #1 podcast. Hands down by the numbers. And yeah, he's a little crazy. He's a little insane. I don't agree with a lot of what he says when it comes to the real world. But I don't care about that. I can still listen and keep that out of it. It's about pro wrestling, sports entertainment, tradition, honor, respect. Knowing what the fuck you're talking about and having the knowledge to know what you're talking about. And you've been there before. We're like-minded as far as the business goes. So I can listen to Jim Cornette and Brian Last. I listen to Dutch Mantell over on the WSI network because Dutch is another one. Unbelievable storyteller. So he's a little forgetful. But there's nobody that's a better talker and story time teller than Dutch Mantell. And then there's others. I listen to Bischoff. I listen to Russo. There's different people that that's just because I may not personally dig where they're coming from or what they did in this industry doesn't mean that I'm not open-minded to listen to everyone. I also listen to the guys over on the Wrestling Soup with Kevin Castle and Mish and the boys. I listen to their podcast as well. So it's from pillar to post and coast to coast and border to border on this channel. I listen to them all. And then, of course, I have my own opinions and viewpoints and thoughts. I even listen, of course, to the Solomonster. Occasionally, I'll pop in on Ango. I mean, there's a lot of different podcasters that are normies, we'll call them the normals. The people that have just touched the surface of the business. The people that are insiders. The people that are legends and do it themselves as Hall of Famers. And of course, I'm sure everyone out there at one time or another listens to the leader because they're on the biggest platform, Sirius XM. And that's Busted Open Radio. What LaGreca has done, although he has the brain of a dehydrated BB too. I love you, LaGreca. Somebody might clip it and send it to you because I know some of your boys at Busted Open check in. Look what he's done for 15 years on Sirius XM in this business and for the exposure and to make it mainstream. Busted Open Radio. I'm sure most of you listen to that, and I do as well. Because I am a mark. I am a fan besides an insider. Besides a former talent. It's just that simple. So I hope you guys can appreciate all that. I'm way off topic. This is a hodgepodge, a menagerie, a status of the channel all combined. We, so far on the numbers, just briefly over the last 28 days, 1.5 million, let me say it again, 1.5 million impressions, up 511% from last month. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. How are most of you finding the channel? Usually it's by browsing. You know, like Rodney Dangerfield, when he was asked, they said, excuse me, sir, what are you doing in here? And he said, I think it was him and Joe Pesci. They say he said to the old birds in there running the antique show, he said, well, why don't you ask them over there what they're doing? She said, well, they're just browsing. And he said, well, we're browsing. We're browsers. You know, I'm just, look at me. I'm browsing. The chains are heavy. We're browsing. So 60% of you are browsers, and that's how you're finding the channel. 20% suggested videos, and that's what I talk about all the time. 20%, I'll take it. 20% of anything is fantastic. Can we get it higher? Can we trend towards 40 or 50% of suggested videos? That means you make a comment. You drop an elbow, you irate, you pick up your chair and smash that like button. It's free, man. You subscribe, it's free. Remember that, it's free. If you want to become a member, that's on you. Never needed, much appreciated. It's only $2 or $3 a month, and I believe my leaders there, again, as my moderators, are the OTS Tribal Queen and Austin Nance. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I mean, I'm going to do this regardless anyway, because I have motivation, passion. This is what it's all about, and this is my way of giving back to you, to my business, my industry that I've been a part of for 40 years. And if you go as a fan, I've been a part of for damn near 55 years. You got to give back. It's all about giving back. And you got to love it, your motivation and your passion. It's a stress reliever. It's a distraction, especially over these last 4 years, which is when I started this fucking project. And again, I apologize for the cussing, but not really. It just happens. I apologize for it. We are up from last month 328 subscribers. So welcome aboard to Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel, here for Chaos Corner. Welcome to the new 328 subscribers. I greatly appreciate it. We are up in total views 70% here on the channel to over 90,000. That's just in the last 28 days. Remember that. Put it in perspective here in the numbers that we're talking about. Watch hours, real-time watch hours over the last 28 days. 8,000 real-time watch hours. It really is incredible compared to where we came from 3 months ago, 6 months ago. We had a great summer. June and July of 2024 on this station were banging, lit. We slumped a little bit off in August. We went down a little bit towards the end of the summer. I get it. Everyone's back to school. Got into the fall, September, coming into October. We're rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep them doggies rolling. Keep them doggies rolling. Raw high. Settle up, rattle in. Move down. No? What? Entertainment personified. That's why you come here, not just for pro wrestling. You come here for entertainment, for my lunacy, the Guardian of Chaos, because you never know what's going to happen, what I'm going to say, or what I'm going to do. That's half of the fucking entertainment of why you come here. No, hold on. I don't know how long we're going to go. This was impromptu. Just know that by the time it's first pitch for the New York Metropolitans, you gotta believe in the Kings and Queens. The bad guys won in '86. I'll be in front of the flat screen LED checking that out and probably listening on the radio as opposed to these announcers who really have the brain of a turnbuckle. Can you give me Gary, Keith, and Ron? Really? It should be allowed to be simulcast. Just that, again, we're bouncing all over the place. It's sugar-free. I didn't have any. I had a cup of coffee too, that's right. What? All right, where were we? We were talking about analytics. And I will eventually come back for episode 11 with the full breakdown of demographics, geography. The last time around, the top 5 countries besides the United States that were here. Our friends to the north in Canada are big fans of the YouTube channel here, the show. Our friends over in the UK across the pond are always checking in. They're always here. Our friends from India and Japan and Mexico, those are the top nations and countries that are following here on Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel. So I appreciate each and every one of you from around the globe that are watching this channel. Again, one man, unique, unedited, unscripted, raw dog for you, the fans know better. As I already said, just unique. A niche. You got to be special to watch this show and get it and understand what the fuck we're talking about. For every time I say the word fuck, you should probably have a drink. Probably would have been about a half dozen in by now, but don't go out anywhere. Stay home, man. Don't drink and drive it. And again, I'm trying to stop with the cussing. What else would you guys find interesting? The demographics and geography are always very interesting on this channel. Again, we're doing unbelievable well. I can't thank you guys enough. We have 10,000 returning viewers. Now, you might say that's a lot. That's our average here every week of people that tune in. About 10,000. Give or take, up or down, room for error. But when we get up to the 20, 25, almost 30,000 viewers a week, it's a lot of people, like 85, 84%, 80% are new viewers. A round robin door, a rotation door, circular door of people coming in and out, which is great, which means we're always getting exposed to new people, new viewers, new audience from people around the world and around this great country. But stay for a while. Subscribe. Again, I'm not making barely a nickel off of this, and the nickel, YouTube takes 60% of it. So I've been doing this for 4 years and solid since I started monetizing about 6 months ago. And you know what I've gotten from YouTube? And no offense, YouTube. I mean, you can scratch your ass for all I care. 0. The big donut hole, they're holding it in an account until they feel fit to give it to you, because that's the American way nowadays, right? But like I said, I've started this off in 2017, slowly to now. It's only been the last 4 years. Because of love, passion, and giving back. And just having a mission of reaching and connecting with you people, even if it's only 1, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 150,000, 1 million, it doesn't matter. You guys know my background. I've been on national TV more than once. I've been around all the stars of Hollywood. How weird was that? Thank God I didn't. No Diddy here, man. I've been around this country. I've been on pay-per-views. I've been blessed, fortunate, family man, 25 years behind the walls, sacrificed my life for my family and for you. I'm blessed, I'm fortunate, humbled, and honored to be here. So I just want you guys from the bottom of my heart to know that it's not just a chaos guardian of chaos. It's the person that puts the face to the product. I'm as real can get. So, again, we've been bouncing around here, a variety chaos corner. So I'm glad you're here. We're over 40 minutes in. We won't go more than an hour. So again, I need you fans to come back. I need you to get us in the algorithm. That would be great. It's just more fun for all of us. Again, I post almost every day. Nobody works harder. You don't know anyone that's putting out the amount of videos that I am. Sit down, take out your calculator and do the average of 4,000 videos in less than 4 years. 300 last month in the month of September 2024 alone. I've already posted every day so far this month in October. We're only 6 days in. And again, I enjoy it. 56,000 unique viewers, because you are unique here. And I'm going to get off that for now, because again, I started this off and was down here in the bunker originally for episode 11, State of the Channel, because we haven't done one since March 15th of 2024, 6 months ago. Go back on the playlist in the Chaos Corner shows to episode 10, and you'll see how much we've grown in the last 6 months. We really have turned the corner, and we'll continue to turn the corner. So let me get on to my messages that I've received here over the last week or two, and I'll run right through this. And again, you'll have something to watch here. I'll see you on the sit down tonight. We'll be watching baseball. I'll see you in the WWE, AEW. I'll see you over on Off the Script. No worries. I'll see you over, as I said, on DT and KC. I'll see you with Jesse, the Solid Monster. No worries. And again, on Twitter, aka X, at Big Daddy GOC. In real time, you can reach me here on the community page on Guardian of Chaos on YouTube. Guardian of Chaos BD, Big Daddy. It's kind of weird, but I was 335 pounds. Now I'm about 230. Still got that fucking thump game, though. Remember that. What'd I say? Follow me on Instagram. I'm not over there all the time, but I do have an account. The Guardian of Chaos. On Facebook, which I post more of my personal life and local independent pro wrestling promotions. You'll see everything from my wife to my family to my granddaughter, my daughter, my oldest daughter who passed in 2015. Her birthday's coming up. As a matter of fact, it's the 11th. These are heavy. So rest in peace, daughter. I love you. I miss you. And of course, my amazing fur babies. Emilio, who passed as well recently. Eli, Emily, and you'll get a connection on what I did as a person, who I am as a person over on Facebook. And that's Jay Brony. For all you jabronis over there, just like it sounds, Jay Brony with an I. And then, of course, my second account, Prodigio Fidelis El Guardian. Let me say it again. Prodigio Fidelis El Guardian, in honor of my heritage. Also, the Guardian of Chaos over on Rumble, because I cover all in the IWC. So follow me on social media, especially here on the community page, over on X, of course on Facebook. I'm on there almost every day, and then I'm off. I'm not on there for long. And don't forget, email me, you sons of bitches. Should I do this in a part 2? I don't think so. Let's bang it out right now. And once I start, you guys will get it. You'll understand where I'm coming from and what's going on. We're going to go alphabetically here for the glossary, the index, the definitions, if you will. A little hodgepodge, a menagerie that relate to pro wrestling. Sit back and relax and enjoy this part. I'll try to keep this show under an hour. And thanks for being here. And if you jump off, come back. Come back and say something. Stop lurking. You ready? Angle. A technique used by promoters and managers to create a feud or a grudge match. It may involve only one match or continue several matches over several different matches. Let that sink in. No, not Kurt Angle. At show. Short for athletic show. A regular feature of carnivals in the 19th century that showcased athletic prowess. Babyface. The good guy. The face. Pretty easy, if you know what I'm talking about. Babyface. You got the cutest little baby face. Come here, let me pinch it. Come here, get closer. All right there. Babyface, self-explanatory. The good guy. Good versus evil. Heel, face, heel. You guys get it? Technical, rudo, technical, lucha libre. No me jodas, Marco, mueve de culo, pendejo. No offense, they not. It was nothing. Lighten up, kayfabe, man. What? Different cultures. Konnichiwa, bitches, arigato from the Chaos Sign. I'm just saying, man. Peha or Melihini. Kane pupule. Wiki. Aloha and mahalo. All my brothers. No? All right. I'm moving on. I'm moving forth. I realize you don't have all day, but again, come back. I don't want to make it into a part 2. Battle Royale. A lot of these are self-explanatory, and you guys know, but I'm going by the fan mail. Battle Royale. You tell me what you say. An awesome match that involves 30 or more wrestlers who enter the ring one at a time every 3 minutes. Now we know it's changed in certain ways. This is traditional. This is from over 30 years ago, these definitions. 50 years ago. It's every man or woman for himself, and anyone thrown over the top rope is eliminated. The last wrestler in the ring wins the match. Blading. In the old days, wrestlers would hide blades on their bodies and cut themselves during a match to create a dramatic gush of blood. This practice was called blading. And allegedly now it's an illegal practice, but we know that's a bunch of horse shit. You guys get it. Blow up. To become weary or depleted of energy, some wrestlers blow up on the entry ramp. I always say it here, training, wind, stamina, getting in the ring. There's nothing worse than having no wind. That's how your survival is. And ring wind is much different in every sport. You can be the best track athlete, football player, baseball, basketball, soccer, lacrosse, whatever it is that you play, try to get in the ring and you'll understand when it's called about blowing up. And ring wind. You amateur wrestlers know what I'm talking about. Booker. The person in charge of planning a match. Promoters hire bookers to create just the right combination of talent, angles, and finishes for an exciting match. Now, our booker at Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling is Paul Roma because he knows the business. There's a big difference between a booker and a matchmaker. Again, Roma at Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, one of the best in the indie scene. And where did he get it from? From Madison Square Garden, the WWF, WCW, training and traveling with the best, learning from the best, and then applying it to your craft. Booker. Brass knucks match, pretty self-explanatory. A match in which brass knuckles are placed on top of a corner pole in the ring. The first wrestler to get them can use them. Brass knucks. I miss the old brass knucks titles back in the day. Bump. No, not that. Get your mind out of the gutter, man. This is a clean show. A fall or a hit which literally knocks the victim out of the ring. Usually the high point of a match. Wrestlers, referees, managers, valets, and other participants can all suffer bumps in the ring. And to my point of what all I always say, and what I'll continue to say, if you haven't taken a fucking bump in the ring, training, otherwise, in a match, as a professional, then let's stay in your lane. Okay? Stay in your lane. Bump. Cage match, which we just saw last night at Hell in a Cell. A match in which the ring is surrounded by a metal cage to keep competitors in and interference out. The cage can be climbed or rigged with an electrical current to keep the wrestlers off. Or they have a cage match like last night, Hell in a Cell, and then they use all kinds of weapons, which kind of defeats the purpose of the cage. Just my opinion. My observation. Card. Yeah, I know. I'm quite a card, but this is a different definition. A list of wrestling matches occurring at a specific place and time and venue. Carny. I guess we're all carnies at one time or another, but this is where it all started. Term used to refer both to carnivals and to carnival operations and its employees. And if you know how to talk carny, then you know. For shiznit. Count out. Again, a lot of these are self-explanatory. I'm just giving you what you wanted. If a wrestler is knocked out of the ring, he has 10 seconds to get back in without help. Or if it's in other promotions, other countries, especially Lucha Libre, it's a 20 count, which I like better than the 10. The opponent must back off in a neutral corner. If he interferes in any way, the count starts over. This practice is worked into matches to allow wrestlers some breathing time. If both men are out of the ring for a 10 count, the match is over. This is called a double DQ via countout because the ref called for the bell. Cycle. Steroids are prescribed in cycles, so the building up or shrinking down of muscles as a result of the drug is called a cycle. Now remember, steroids were legal up until 1990, I believe. You know, the whole McMahon steroid scandal, so on and so forth, from the early and middle 90s. They showed it on a Netflix docuseries on Vince. I took them back in the day myself, but this was in the 80s, the 70s and 80s. Not saying it was right. Don't judge me morally. I won't judge you. Let me say it for you. Let me clear it out for you. They were legal. Not until like 90, 91. Just remember that. And I'm not condoning it. I'm just giving you the truth behind what I did. Disqualification. Losing a match for breaking the rules or leaving the ring rather than by being pinned or forced into submission. Do the job. Getting pinned in the ring, it's a thankless job, but someone has to do it. It is a thankless job, and most people with their egos don't want to do it and don't want to get with the program and don't want to go with the story. Do the job. All right, be professional. Listen, I can't speak sometimes 100% because I'm not always right. Although very rarely wrong, I'm not always right, and I'll admit it. There were a couple of times I didn't want to do the job, for my guys to do the job, but we did it. And I even bitched about it, and I was wrong, and I apologize. But do the job. Put somebody else over, because if you go over on someone and they're a nobody, who do you go over on? Nobody. So get somebody else over, which puts you over. Remember that. Just like the indies are the backbone of this fucking industry, people doing the job are the backbone of the major leagues of this fucking industry as well. I apologize for the cussing. Damn it. Disqualification, self-explanatory. DQ. Draw. A wrestler's public image carefully created by promotion and performance, which is awesome enough to bring fans into the ring. In other words, putting asses in seats. Whether you're putting up flyers, posting on your social media, doing interviews, selling tickets, there's nothing wrong with that. You're helping your company, you're helping your promotion, in turn, you're helping you. Don't you want to be proud of what you do and what you represent and have people come see you that know you? Putting asses in seats. Not a draw as far as like a draw in a competition. You guys understand that, I know. Dud. An extremely dull or boring match. Exposing the business, which everybody's been doing now for the last 30 years. There's no more kayfabe. I used to love kayfabe. Giving away wrestling secrets either on purpose or accidentally, and this doesn't even apply anymore, although it should. You should be separate cars, separate restaurants, bars, beaches, taverns, dressing rooms, airports. Stay away from each other. This is what ruined the business to begin with in certain ways. Besides egos and greed, which we know naturally. Exposing the business. And now it doesn't even matter anymore, does it? People still watch it by the millions. Look at the money they're making. Netflix, Warner Discovery. Who thought on national TV, 4 or 5 nights a week, count pay-per-views? A soap opera? Theater, and people are still fucking watching. That's the amazing thing. Wow. Again, face, we already described it. A hero or good guy, also known as the baby face. Faces can be very unpopular because they could be very unpopular, let me correct that, because they always follow the rules and are promoted as wimpy goodies. That doesn't really apply. Remember the time frame here. I'm going back for these definitions 30 to 50 years ago. Some of them don't even apply. Some of them still are consistent, but they're all the same. Because remember, the game doesn't change. The names of the players change. Don't hate the player, hate the game. The game doesn't change. And I say it every time. Take out your notebooks. You should have had them out already as soon as we came on the air. Fall. Not the fall guy, although there's a lot of those. The referee's 3 count as a wrestler's shoulders are pinned to the mat. Falls count anywhere match. To win a match, you have to pin your opponent for a 3 count. In a falls count anywhere match, the pin can occur anywhere in the arena, even in the aisles. Feud. Matches that are scheduled between wrestlers who annoy each other, usually the good guys versus the bad guys. Remember the simplicity of these definitions? You're hearing the time machine now, the glossary of the definitions here. First blood match. A match in which the first man to juice is the loser, but both wrestlers juice before the match is over, usually. A very controversial practice in modern pro wrestling, and that was 20 years ago. Think where we are in 2024, going into 2025. Getting heat, which a lot of people don't know how to do. It's really an art form. The role of the bad guy to get the crowd to boo or react with hostility to him. An enthusiastic cheer or boo means the match is successfully getting heat. Getting over, another incredible, unbelievable definition and something for you to understand and comprehend. Connecting with the crowd by making the fans accept and react to your wrestling persona, i.e. Roman Reigns, The Rock, Stone Cold, Ric Flair back in the day, the Road Warriors, whatever it is, and getting that pop. And we'll get on to that. Even what Jey Uso's doing nowadays in the WWE. That's called getting over. There's many ways to do it. Gimmick, another important thing. Living the gimmick, being the gimmick. It's not like that now, but back in my era, which was the 90s and late 80s, and then the 80s and 70s, that's what it was about. MJF is a perfect example of someone in gimmick in today's industry. Or how The Undertaker was in his gimmick. A prop used as a wrestler's trademark and also often as a weapon, to break it down into simple terms. Green. An unseasoned wrestler who makes mistakes early in his career. There's nothing wrong with being green, because just like everybody at one time or another was a mark, everybody at one time or another was green. So remember that. Ham and egger. For all you ham and eggers, I was a ham and egger. It's not a bad term. Jobber, enhancement talent, tomato can, whatever you want to call it. A ham and egger. A professional opponent, one who hasn't yet made it to a high level of fan recognition. So he or she is cast as the loser in bouts, usually early in the card, mid-card, also known as a jobber. Hard way juice. Getting busted the hard way. Busted open the hard way. You guys have heard that many times. Blood drawn during a match without the use of blading. I know that feeling. Even as a manager, I know it more than once. Heel, as opposed to face, or Rudo Technico, heel, face, you guys get it. A bad guy, good versus evil, who doesn't follow established rules. The opposite of face. Again, bear with me, I know that most of my fans know this. I get it. Hot tag. The hot tag. You guys see it every week. Every night that it's on. A tag team strategy often used in matches between heels and faces. The heels pulverize the smallest face, angering his partner who is unable to get into the ring until he's tagged. The ref is distracted from the action by the gyrations outside the ring. You didn't have to use gyrations. Then, beaten nearly unconscious, the lesser face leaps across the ring to tag his partner. The partner proceeds to clean house in a triumphant victory, or thereabouts, and to continue the story. So that's a hot tag. The house. And not Swerve's house. Let's not get crazy. Whose house? The house. The spectators at a match, usually made up mostly of marks. No offense. The house, the venue. Jam-packing it. Putting asses in seats every 16 inches. It used to be 18 inches. Why'd they have to? Is it inflation? Job. That's right, job. A wrestler's defeat in a pinned match. A clean job means to beat a wrestler with a legal submission. Sometimes a job can be described by the way it was performed, such as a rope job, a tights job. It's called a job. A jobber. You see, we keep a nice segue here. A wrestler who loses on purpose to make other wrestlers look good, which is one of the most important things in this business. New wrestlers just breaking into the business almost always spend some time as jobbers until they build a fan following. Remember the time machine, the date here, and these definitions in today's industry, they want to change them. But these are the facts, man. I present the facts. That's why when you come here, when you walk in, you have learned more than when you walk out of here. You know more. So you can add to the conversation at the next outing, venue, barbecue, family gathering, holiday, whatever the fuck it is. So you know when you're in your next chat room watching your next podcast on Pro Wrestling and the IWC, you know what you're talking about. Because you have learned more from walking in here and when you walk out of here. Them's the facts. We already covered juice. Blood drawn during a match when blading is used. Kayfabe, which everybody thinks, oh, kayfabe. Everybody thinks they know what kayfabe is, and certainly have never lived kayfabe. A private language used in wrestling originated by carnies like Pig Latin. That's right, you guys didn't know it was a language. Did you? Well, some of you did. It allows people who use it to speak in public about secrets or tricks of the trade without worrying that anyone who overhears them will understand what's being said. Kayfabed again. Let's see if I can move forward here. I did tell a little bit of a fib. We're over an hour in right now on a Sunday. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I'll come up with some of the more important terms that you might enjoy listening to. A mark. That's right, I said it. A mark. A fan who believes everything he sees in the ring is real. A mark. Paper. I don't know if you guys know this one, but I'll throw it out there. Free tickets given to fans for a match, usually done to fill an arena before a television taping, or like what TK has done. No offense, TK. Paper. You're giving out paper. You guys know what a pin and a pinfall is? Let's go to pop. And we all know what that feeling is. Gives you goosebumps like The Rock does, the chills, exciting, insanity, getting the pop. And if you've never got one, and I don't mean the sexual way. What I say, man? Pop. The sudden rush of enthusiasm as a popular wrestler enters the ring, or when a dramatic move is made, or when a heel comes in and gets that boo and reaction, getting the pop. It's an incredible feeling. Potato. Red potatoes, sweet potatoes, white potatoes. If you get a potato, as the chains fall off here because I feel like I just got a potato, you'll know what it is. A head injury caused by either a direct hit or a crash usually results in a black eye, so jobbers have to be careful not to potato the main face accidentally. Somebody's at my front door. Did you hear that, mechanical bitch? No offense, man. We were interrupted again. I didn't say nothing. You see what AI is all about, right? Somebody's at the front door. Here in the bunker. How did they even get past the security? Let me go to the camera. Stand by. Okay. We're good, but somebody just went by. The cameras here at Chaos Corner. And then I get interrupted. Potato. You guys get it. You give somebody a potato, you can guarantee a receipt. A blow that causes, bake a potato. Ring boy, do we have to talk about that? And here they call it a punk. Remember the time frame we're in. Ring rats, no offense, man. We know what ring rats are. Lot lizards, rats, it's all the same. Wrestling groupies who often come as families. Not necessarily families. You get the picture, right? Ring rat. We know what run-ins are. We know what a save is. We know what a screw job is. A match fought outside of the rules of wrestling. The Montreal screw job. We know that. How Moolah screwed over Wendy Richter in that screw job. To sell. You guys know what it is to sell. I'll give it to you anyway. To convince the crowd of the superiority of an opponent. A jobber does this by reacting to moves with the proper enthusiasm and pain. A wrestler can have big problems if his opponent doesn't sell for him when he's supposed to. And you'll get a receipt for that as well. It's all about the sell. Where people like Moxley and other people in today's 2024 false finishes, move for move, spot monkeys, nobody's selling anything. Can you sell? We all know what a shoot is, not just in interviews and life. A shoot, it's a legit fight. You guys know that, I hope. If you've ever been in one in your life, I don't know. No offense. A shooting match, which we know is a clean match, legit, also could be used to refer to a match that is fought without overt gimmicks or showy tricks. A shoot match. We all know what the squared circle is, a squash match. We know what a strap is, which Vince wouldn't let you say it's a championship belt. We know what a strap match is. Stretch. Have you ever been stretched? Oh, I've been stretched. And if you went to Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling or the Quest facility or Stu Hart's Dungeon or several other places around the globe from back in the day, Killer Kowalski's school, you get stretched. Hiro Matsuda down in Florida, Eddie Graham, even Bill Watts. Did you ever get stretched? A type of shoot in which one wrestler dominates rather than injures another wrestler. Laugh at that. We all know what a Texas death match is. A turn, not a right turn or a left turn. You guys know to change from bad guy to good guy, face to heel to face, vice versa. Angles are often set up by turns. Leave me your opinion on you think who the biggest turns have been from face to heel, heel to face. I mean, ones that jump right off at you. Hulk Hogan, ultimate face to ultimate heel. The Rock was a heel and face, successful at both. Heck, even John Cena, heel and face. I mean, we can go on and on with the best heel and face turns over the last 5 years, 10 years, history. Even Roman Reigns right now. Leave your comment here. I know we're an hour and 10 minutes in, but if you catch this part or on the replay in the comments here in the live, give me who you think has given you in your era of your time the best heel and face turns back and forth, forth and back, 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 back and forth, back, back. You guys get it, right? Entertainment. We're an hour and 10 minutes in. We're almost done. Relax. We all know what the turnbuckle is. Work rate. I hear all you people talking about pacing and work rate and length and time limits of matches. The work rate, which is always important. Pacing of the card, the match, the event. An approximate ratio of good wrestling to rest holds in a match or in a wrestler's overall performance, which can be applied to a show as well. Work rate. I hope your notebooks are still out. And then there's the work, which you know the GOC Big Daddy is not a work. This is not a work. I guess everybody can get worked at times. You don't want to be worked. And I guess you really don't want to work anybody. It depends on what you're doing, where you are in life, or what business, and who you're talking about. The work. Everyone, oh, it's a work. Is it shoot? Is it work? Is it real? Kayfabe? All you people in this industry who use those words and don't really know them or understand them or have been involved with them or have used them to be in this business and earned the right to use them. I'm just giving you my opinion because I still love you all. Any practice that is not legit. A match or an injury can be worked in order to give a wrestler some time off. Everybody was just talking recently about AJ Styles and it was a work or a shoot. Talked about Punk when he was in AEW. Adam Cole, Bay Boom, if it was a work or a shoot. You know, people talked about Lesnar when he was in the ring on certain matches. Was it a work or a shoot? Everybody uses that. Be careful of what you use. Use it in the right context if you haven't earned it. And I can't thank you guys enough for being here. Very impromptu, very random. We jumped all over the page here. From analytics to the WWE to AEW to fighting words. So, I'll say that to say this. This is getting heavy. Because I tell it like it is. Oh, wait, I'm not ready for that yet. Give me a minute here, okay? Stay tuned to the channel. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm glad you stayed here till the end. And are you ready, Austin? Are you ready, Jen? Are you ready, OTS Tribal Queen? I'll say that to say this. Because I tell it like it is. Don't you dare miss it.